All right, this is problem 55 for the final review, and it's asking us to graph the linear equation. So this is a linear equation, although it doesn't look like it because it's not in this format, y equals mx plus b. If you notice, x plus y equals 4. Well, it's in standard format. We did not go over standard format, but that's okay. We can still answer this question, and I can show you how it's the same. We can rearrange this format to look like the format we're already familiar with, which is the linear equation, which is in the slope-intercept format. This is slope-intercept format. I should probably type that in. Okay. So what we can do the fastest way to do this problem is just solve for y by plugging in x values. Now the way this equation is set up, because the number 4 is so small and it's just addition, you don't necessarily have to rearrange it. If I plugged a value in for 1 as x, 1 plus y equal 4. Let me think. What do I add? What do I add to 1 to get 4? And of course, what you add to 1 to get 4 is 3. So y has to be 3 in order to get the answer of 4. So you can do that with this one. You can also rearrange this equation so that it's already equal just to y and not equal to the 4. But we'll continue in this way for now. So if I plugged in a 0 value for x, so then I would say x is now 0 plus a y equals 4. So what did I add to 0 to get 4? Well, I added 4. Okay, so let's try negative 1. So if x is negative 1 plus y equals 4, what do I add to negative 1 to get a positive 4? Well, I have to add a positive number, and a large positive number. So negative 1 plus 5 will equal a positive 4. So our it's weird, but our y value is then 5. Okay, so it's 5. Now we plotted some points. And that's how we can graph this line, is because we use these points to graph the line. Because each one of these is an xy coordinate, where y is 1, where x is 1, y is 3. So we go x1 over 1, and then up positive 3, 1, 2, 3, put a point there. We go to the 0, that's x, and we go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's a positive 4, and there's a line, or there's a point there for the line. And then we go negative 1, and we go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's a point there. And now we're building a line that we can then draw. Okay, so we just graphed a linear equation. That's what it means to graph an equation, is to find the points and plot them. The other way we can do this whole problem, which is by changing this format, x plus y, into the linear equation or the slope-intercept format. And how we do that is we solve for y. So we're isolating y. So we leave it alone. That means we have to subtract off the x. Now when we subtract x from 4, you can't do anything with that. So let's clean this up a little. We still have our y. We still have our equals. We do 4 minus x. We can't really do anything, so we just leave it alone. And then x minus x, of course, is just 0. So our y equals mx plus b equation now is here. It's a little cattywampus though, because we've got y and we've got equal, not really the mx. It seems as though the mx is over here. So what we have really is b minus mx. and the m is a -1, because when you have a negative in front of that x, it's a -1. So the b then is over here, and there's the m is -1. The b is a 4, by the way. That's a little weird the way I wrote that. So let's change it. Let's put the mx in the front, and you can do that. This is no big deal. So y equals -1x, and then we move the 4 as a whole unit, and that's a +4, so we write +4. Now we have our nice smooth y equals mx plus b format, where 4 is the y-intercept and m is -1. And how you can plot it just using this slope and y-intercept is that you can go on the graph to the y-intercept, which is 4, and remember what we use for a y-intercept is just the 4, but it's overall, it's a point on the line. It really is not just a 4 by itself, it's a whole point of 0, 4, which we had calculated earlier. So we look at that point right there, which we already drew, and then we could use the slope, -1/1, and do rise over run, because slope is also rise over run, and any number over 1 is the same number. So we have a -1 slope, but -1/1 is the same as -1. We start on our y-intercept, and we go -1, we go down, and we go over 1, and we found another point on the line. We go down over 1, and that's a point on the line. We go down over 1, and that's a point on the line. So you could build a line in this way also without having to calculate points. You can start with the y-intercept, because that's a point on this line, and you can walk to the next point using rise over run.